Team Freeview, we are back in the house with another list analysis. I am obviously B-Bone. If you don't know me, you're a first-time viewer, welcome. I like moustaches and 40k as well as other things. Stig here, he likes beards.
Apart from the beard, obviously.
Apart from, yeah, he likes that guy.
No,
not us. And if you're listening, beard, I want that £2.50, alright? You listen. He doesn't actually owe me any money, I don't know why I was going to say
that's probably about from 4 years ago.
It's also probably me that owes him. Let's be honest. So, we are having a look at the Necrons today. And I use the dramatic music because, whoo! They're in a tough place, I think, Necrons at the moment. They're too expensive for what they do, in my opinion. I found this incredibly difficult, especially we're trying to look at a 1750 point list today.
Yeah.
You just don't end up with much.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It
is difficult. I found it quite difficult, but I think I've come up with something which, for 1750, will turn a few heads, do a bit of damage, and with the right play, could win you some games. Definitely win you some games. So we've got a reply here, and we get all these from our forum. So if you want to be considered for list analysis, please pop over to the forum. You can add a list on there, and if we like the sound of it or we think that it needs addressing, then we will do it. We can't guarantee it. We'll do it for everyone because we literally get thousands.
Yeah.
But we do one every couple of weeks.
Yeah, and
we've probably more regularly than that now, maybe once a week. So
good ones. Good way of trying to get in is to try and make us laugh with the title or intrigue us.
Yeah,
that
I like
tends
intriguing.
to be the way, because there's just so many, so we have to have something that's going to pop up.
Yeah.
Or also, if you have awesome photos, that works.
I like photos. Photos are cool.
We like pictures.
So who's this from?
So this is from Andrew Simpson.
This is from Andrew Simpson.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
He's
and what was his title?
At Vacant Faith 81.
At Vacant Faith. Wow.
Yeah.
And you play Necrons. I get it.
Yeah.
And then what's the actual? It was competitive
Necrons 1750. Is it possible in 8th edition? Question mark.
Again, this wasn't really a funny one, but we looked at it and we
went...
It was
intriguing.
Is it?
It sounded like an Australian, because it was a question and everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't really have the upper inflection anymore. I've lived away from home.
You've lived away from home for a while.
Yeah, but really? You kind of talk like that? If you're Australian? Yeah, but I don't do that anymore.
When I say it was offensive, when you say it's just
it's fact. Okay, it's factual. That's how I'm from Queensland, so I was like, oh yeah, right. Yeah. But I've been to 2 drama schools where they literally beat it out of me. Court case pending.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to read
you paid for that.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah. If you'd like to read this, read what we've got going on here.
So, hi. I'm finding it very difficult to come up with a Necron list of 1750 that is worthy of tournament dueling.
Same here.
Yeah. It's heavy going, as I believe the Necron Codex is vastly overpointed compared to the likes of Jakari and Guard in regard to what you get for the points.
100% agree.
What we just said. Am I alone in thinking this? Question mark.
No, you're not.
Main gripe, it's frustrating that to get anti-psyker, it has to be strapped to an expensive or hamstrung unit. Something like a Resorb option for say 20 points or so could take multiples of perhaps would be better in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Here's my list. I'll most likely be using it to enter local tournament based around being mobile for objectives and aiming to handle armor and melee. If you have any ideas about how Necrons could be competitive with 1750, I'd love to hear your ideas. Many thanks, Andy. So we said Andrew?
Yeah.
He says Andy.
But now we're friends.
Now we're
It's
friends.
Andy.
It's Andy from now on.
Yeah.
So Andy, he has gone with, he's got an Outrider detachment, which is I've just questioned this and I've now forgotten how I say it. Novoke. Dynasty Novoke.
Yeah, I think so. I think that sounds about right.
He's got a Cryptic with the Canoptic Cloak and Staff of Light as his HQ. He's got an elite choice of the Praetorians. He's got 6 of them in there with Rod of Covenant, so the standard ones. He's got fast attacks, obviously being the Outrider. He's got 3 units of 5 Scarab Swarms, and then he's got Wraiths. So he's got 6 Wraiths with the Particle Caster. He's then got in heavy support, it's a Canoptic Spider. So Canoptic Spider, Gloom Prism, and 2 Particle Beams. He's then got a Mephrit Spearhead with a Destroyer Lord. He's using the artifact. Oh god, yeah, it's a Piternal Wave.
Sempiternal.
Sempiternal. There we go. Weave. Right. Dyslexic boy strikes again. And this next one.
Phylactery.
There we go. This was great for me to read.
Yeah.
He's the Warlord, and he's using a War Scythe, and his Warlord trait is Immortal Pride.
Yeah.
He has another Leech choice. He's got Death Marks. He's got 10 of them, and then he's got 3 heavy support choices, which are Heavy Destroyers, 3 in each unit. 1750 on the nose, 5 CP.
Okay, cool. So interesting. I think there's some good stuff in there, and there's some stuff which, if we're looking at competitive, it's kind of a bit of chaff. We'll look at my list. I've actually kind of just tried to build up a competitive Necron list.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff I haven't used, forgive me, but there is some stuff that will cross over, and hopefully you'll be able to look at those units as well. Why don't we go straight into that? We'll do yours first.
Mine first.
And then we'll come back and do mine. So Stig's list coming up next.
So, I think this is actually possibly my first ever Necron list that I've built.
Very good.
Might have had a play, a while ago, but
So you're in safe hands, Andy.
Yeah, perfect. But this is definitely the first time I've looked at doing something competitive rather than something that I might just play.
Cool.
I think that's more the point. I've tried to keep some of the stuff that you've gone with, but similar to I think I'm guessing what you've gone with, I've had to replace some stuff for me anyway. So I've got 3 detachments. I'm going to start off with an Outrider detachment, which I've gone for Mephrit. I've kept a Destroyer Lord as the HQ for this. I've kept the same artifact, so it's the Weave, whatever that first word was.
Okay.
I've also given him a War Scythe, but I've also added the Resurrection Orb. Okay. I too went for the Immortal Pride. I kind of get what you're going with that, particularly with the what you're saying about Psychic. And as a Admech and Custodes player, I definitely feel the lack of anti-Psyker sometimes that you're finding. The Immortal Pride, as he's flicked through, is friendly dynasty units automatically pass morale tests whilst within 6 inches of your warlord. In addition, your warlord can attempt to deny 1 psychic power in the enemy psychic phase in the same manner as a psyker. So, anti-morale and the same deny. That's what I was really struggling with.
You got there.
Brilliant. It's hot. Anyway, moving on. So, being an Outrider, I've got 3 fast attacks. I've gone for 3 normal destroyers and 3 units of those.
Okay.
For me, the standard Gauze cannon, I feel better with than going for the heavy.
Okay.
I think spending the extra points and coming out of the fast attack and into heavy support doesn't really work for me, and it saves the points which is going to go elsewhere, as you will see. I've then gone for actually another Outrider detachment, but this one is Novok, similar to how you've gone. I've got a Cryptek again with the Canoptic Cloak. I think that makes sense. Staff of Light absolutely makes sense. I've then gone for 3 units of Scarabs. 2 are 4s, and 1 is 3, just from the points perspective. Because I've gone with 6 Canoptek Wraiths, but I've gone for standard Wraiths. For me, they're all about the combat. I don't think the pistol shots, essentially what you're getting with the caster, is worth the extra points.
No.
And this way, I could get those 6 in. And I have actually gone with the Canoptic Spider. It's one of those things that I had not seen before looking at your list. And it's an interesting one.
They were huge in 7th.
Yeah,
they were big.
As an 8th only player, it was a new thing for me. And it, again, for me, the reason I'm going to look it up on here rather than in the book quicker, again, it's the anti-psyker for me, and that's why I could understand why for 90 points and a little bit more going on there with the some shooting, it does make sense. I can kind of understand what you're going with that. And then finally, I've got a super heavy auxiliary detachment.
Okay.
Because I've got a Tesseract Vault.
Okay.
So there's obviously loads of lists out there that have got 3 of these.
Yep.
That's basically all they're running.
Yep.
For me, I understand why you want to take them, definitely, but I don't see in a real, unless you're doing like a team tournament when you're going to pick certain lists, I think you're going to really struggle. I liked the idea of having a bit more mobility with the other units to be able to get around. The 4 powers that I've chosen, I'm just going to go through these because I think they are definitely worth it, because it's all about the mortal wound output of these guys. So Tesseract Vault, let me just get to it in here. So the Tesla Sphere is Assault 5, Strength 7. Each hit of a 6 is 3 hits instead of 1, which is cool. So some good just standard output. But as I say, it's more about the powers of the Satan. So I've gone for Antimatter Meteor, which is roll a d6 on a 2+, the closest enemy unit within 24 inches of the Satan suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, it suffers d6 mortal wounds. If it's on the Tesseract Vault, it suffers d6 mortal wounds on a 5+ instead of a 6. So that's quite nice.
Yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah.
I've also gone for Seismic Assault, which is pick a visible unit within 24 inches, roll a d6 for each model in that unit, add one to the whole if it's on a Tesseract Vault. For each result of a 6, that unit suffers a mortal wound. So good against kind of more, taking it, you're kind of getting back into the smitey kind of era, but for things that you're getting kind of multiple, bigger units of stuff is going to kind of make some damage.
Yeah, for sure.
I've gone for Sky of Falling Stars, which is pick up to 3 different enemy units within 18 inch. Roll a d6, subtracting 1 result if it's on the vault. If the result is less than the number of models in that unit, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So again, bigger, but against bigger units. This is where it's coming from. And then the Transdimensional Thunderbolt is the last one, which is your character killer essentially. So pick a visible unit within 24 and just roll a d6. You can only pick the character if it has 10 wounds or more. Is the closest or is the closest enemy model to the shard. Add 1 if it's the vault. On a 4+, the chosen unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Then roll a d6 for every other unit that was in 3 inches of the chosen enemy unit. On a 4+, the being rolled for suffers a mortal wound. So it's that kind of add-on effect if you've got other stuff going on. Sure. Obviously, all of these are quite situational.
Yeah.
But that can be some fairly serious damage going on.
Yeah.
With obviously things like your swarms to be able to take up objectives, hold those, just be a pain. You've got your wraiths that are going to be effectively getting in and charging pretty much close to turn 1 with the right use of stratagems. And you can do some real stuff with the Destroyers following up behind. Obviously, with the Resurrect Order and the Destroyer Lord, it means that they're not going to struggle with reanimation. So you should be getting those guys continuously coming back. So that's the theory.
That's cool.
It was 1750 on the nose.
Very good.
Very difficult.
Yeah, it's
very
tough.
difficult.
It's tough because I listen to this and I go, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely going to do some damage. It's very, you feel very thin on the ground.
Yeah.
Necrons, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you go for like the Steel Tide, even there it's very slow, and then you feel very thin on the ground because it gets slowly whittled down. But
my aim was to try and give multiple things that are a threat.
Yeah.
So you're making your opponent have to choose what's going on, because essentially between your Race Destroyers and the Vault, they're all a big threat.
Yeah.
So you're going to struggle. Most opponents, like gun lines and stuff like that, are going to struggle to take on all three of those at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So then the hope is that you'll be able to come back around.
Exactly.
Totally get it. Cool, man. Nice. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. It's very good.
Hope you like that, Andy. Hope it's of some use.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, shall we have a look at my list? Shall we have a little look?
Let's have a little look.
Let's have a look. Okay, Andy, let me give my spin on it. So, there's lots of units that I really like that you've got. And there's lots of units in Necrons that I really like. Like, for example, I love Wraiths. I'm a huge fan of Wraiths.
Everyone loves Wraiths.
At 1750, I find it really difficult to fit them in with the amount of other firepower you need to back them up. Because you could just go like a full Wraiths list. Like I've been playing around with running like 15 of them in 3 squads of 5. Unless you're at 2,000 points though, it doesn't really work.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. I think that they're about 300 points.
For 5.
For 5.
Yeah.
And they're very good, don't get me wrong, but it's just, it's difficult. But look, I think I've come up with something which is interesting. So I'm running 2 detachments, that's what they're called. Well done, me. I'm running 2 detachments, so I've got a battalion and I've got an outrider detachment. Okay, so we'll start with the battalion. The battalion, I'm running Mefrit. Okay. I think Mefrit, with half range, if you've got shooty stuff, the extra -1 on your AP, bang on. So for my HQ, I've got a Cryptek and an Overlord. Now, there's variation with this. You could, the 4 plus reanimation protocols is very good. It's really, really good. However, if you want to maximise the killie, a Lord is also very good because of the
you got the reroll.
With the reroll of your wounds in there. But I think at the end of the day, you always kind of come back to a Cryptek, and they're a bit cheaper, which is nice. So I've got a Cryptek in there, and I've got an Overlord. The Overlord is my Warlord, and he's got the artifact, the Veil of Darkness, and his Warlord trait is Immortal Pride. So everyone's fearless around him, all the infantry, which is nice. I've then got 3 units of 10 Immortals with Tesla carbines.
Okay.
Now the Tesla carbines, when you use my Will Be Done, they go off on 5s instead of 6s, so they become 3 hits instead of 1. And then also at half range, so at less than 12, or 12 or less rather, you get that extra -1. So suddenly they're strength 5 -1 weapons. They're assault 2 as well. So that's like 60 shots, and at half range, 60 strength 5 -1 weaponry is no joke.
Nope.
It's fantastic at clearing hordes. It's just really good, yeah? And then with my Will Be Done, and you can use the stratagem called Pharaoh's Will, so you can use it on 2 of those units. On 5s, it's exploding all the time. Again, there was thought of me trying to fit in, because I like the Immortals, and if you want to run them, a lot of people would use Imitek, the Stormlords, but then you've got to use the Sutek Dynasty. Now, I've got assault weaponry anyway, so it doesn't really fit with the units that I've taken. So I went for Mefrit in the end. But why he's good is he gives you my Will Be Done twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then if so these are options that you can explore, again, if you want to build lists around them, right? But I've just gone for a bare bones Cryptek and Overlord for my battalion. And those are my troops choices. Then I've got 3 heavy support options. I've got 3 Doomsday Arcs. In my opinion, having read through this book, they are arguably one of the winners of the Codex, I guess, if you want to put it that way, right? The Doomsday Cannon at high power, so you can only shoot this if you haven't moved, but if you do, it's heavy D6 shots. They're all strength 10, -5, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then they're D6 damage. At low power, they're heavy D6, strength 8, -2, D3 damage. That's if you've moved and they've got the 36-inch range, right? Still pretty good, even at low range. And this is where I feel Necrons are missing this sort of firepower unless you go down the Doomsday Arc. So I've got 3 of them. Again, now unfortunately I am kind of deviating a bit from your list, Andy, but this is kind of what I think would, at 1750, be a bit more competitive.
What's the points cost of that?
They're 193 points each.
Yeah, they're good. They're good for those. Compared to a lot of the stuff that's. Those destroyers.
And they've got quantum shielding as well, which makes them a bit more survivable.
Because those destroyers, I went for 150 points for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
And they have some cool stratagems that you can use, like My Will Be Done and all that sort of stuff. But still, I just think the Doomsday Arc beats them out. Yeah.
No, I get that.
So I've got 3 of them. That will get anyone's attention who knows what Necrons are. They'll go, oh, okay, I've got 3 of them.
And if they don't know what it is, as soon as they fire a las cannon out, they'll suddenly go,
yeah, right. So it will mean that the Savvy Mung will go, okay, well, the best way is I've got to get small arms fire within range, or I've got to kind of charge them. And generally, when you're charging people, it's kind of small arms, but it's a mass, right? So you need to protect them. So that's why I took this Outrider detachment. So I took a Novoke. I think we're saying that right. Novoke, it's got an H on the end, but it sounds right. Then I've got a Cryptek in there as well.
Chef will tell us off, even if no one else does on the internet. Chef will definitely tell us off.
So I took a Cryptek in there. He's kind of dead points, but I just wanted him to unlock this and get an extra command point in there as well. But also because I'm taking Scarabs in here. I'm kind of doing a whole bunch of Scarabs. So with the points, I managed to get 2 units of 9 and 1 of 8. So big old swarms. I think Scarabs are really good. They're fantastic at screening. If you've got Doomsday Arcs and they're really good at counter attacks as well. People often ignore them. They're really fast, so if you want to do your objective grabbing, they're a fantastic unit that's relatively cheap, all things considered. Yeah. They've got some cool stratagems where they can detonate and take mortal wounds and stuff like that as well. So I'm a big fan of them. I think it's cool. I did keep because I've got so many, I did keep the Canoptic Spider in there too. So, he'll be bringing them back, which is nice when you've got a few of them. And that's it. That's it. So this is my... it feels like such an elite army. The output of fire in this is all right. I think the way that I've done it, I've protected it quite well. You've got your immortals in there, which with My Will Be Done.
Bit of anti-horde and stuff.
Anti-horde in there as well. Yeah. It's one of those things, I find it really difficult, especially playing, my army is Tau, as you all know, and for what I get for my points, it's incredible, you know what I mean? It's, so, and it's like you were saying, I was like, Guard, or, I've been playing Harlequins a bit recently, and actually what you get for the points in Harlequins is pretty good as well, so there's definitely a point in a few armies, Necrons is one of them, Space Marines is another. You just don't seem to get enough bang for your buck. But having said all that, doom and gloom aside, I think if you showed up with this, you would give quite a good armies a run for their money. That's what I think.
I prefer your list to mine.
Which,
absolutely. I think the Doomsday Arc is a really strong choice. I think as you say, some people that know Necrons, great, know that it's something that needs to be dealt with, and probably with all that swarm in front of it, it's going to be a bit of a hard thing to deal with. Yeah. People that don't are going to get really caught out by I think. So yeah. So that's it. That's it. I hope that was helpful. I think Necron players all feel your pain. I think this would be a great opportunity as well, because if there are any Necron players out there who are watching this and have had successful lists, and you want to use the comment section here to kind of share your ideas and have constructive, friendly feedback,
please, let's go for it. You know, let's try and come up with that ultimate list that is just going to really bring Necrons back and make them great again. That, unless you've got anything else to say.
No, it's all good. I enjoyed it. I think digging into this book more than I have done before. I think yeah, there are some really good stuff in there. It's just
the points are wrong.
Yeah, just
points
a little bit expensive.
He's like, yeah. I mean, there are some things which are well pointed, other things not so much. But look, and also 1750 is hard.
Well, yeah, I think, but that's the interesting thing about people moving to a 1750 points, is it makes people make these decisions. So this is the great, hopefully, as we say with this video, and competitive Necron players out there, share thoughts, share what's working, what's going well, and I think between the hive mind of all the Necron dynasties, it could be an interesting.
Because if they united, there would be a problem in the.
Bring the dynasties together.
We can't do that. That would be a problem. Alright guys, well, this has been the Stig. I am the B-Bone, and we will see you next time. Peace out. A-Town.